What's up, guys? Let me just go live on Instagram real quick. Then I can get started. All right, I don't know what's going on. Here it is. Okay. What's up, guys? So, welcome to B Sports Picks. We had another perfect day, which is amazing to even say that because in all the years that I've been doing this, I've never had 3 days in a row where it was perfect days. I've only had 2 days in a row where it was perfect, but it's very rare to even get one perfect day. So, anyways, to get 3 perfect days is crazy. Perfect 8-0 day. I'm going to show you the receipts. 20-0 run for the last 3 days. So it was a 5-0 day 2 days ago, or I'm sorry, 7-0 day 2 days ago, 5-0 day yesterday, and then 8-0. I messed up that. Anyways, what I'm trying to show, I'm going to show you all the receipts, but it's a 20-0 run. What's up, Julio? So let's get started real quick. All right, here we go. So this was Red Sox. I gave this one away yesterday. Said I'm going to go straight with the money line. That hit. Then I had this guy, Logan Hope, on the under. That hit under RBI. And then I had Yandy Diaz. That hit. Corey Seager. That hit. And then this guy got canceled. So I got paid out only for this guy, which was very expensive. So that's why that you see the big difference there. But that one, that hit. And then we had the Blue Jays, which I gave away yesterday as well. That hit. Then I had the Mets, which I didn't share anywhere because the line was shifting in the wrong direction. I explained that, but I didn't share it. And that hit. And then this guy got a hit, Rafaela. So basically, let me talk about something real quick. I shared the Red Sox. Well, you can see it's the odds of -220. And then I shared the Blue Jays right here, a -176. So somebody in the comments said, hey, man, how are you? There's no way you're making money if you're taking the money lines on these two teams, which is ridiculous to even hear that. But I guess he's new. But let me just explain it. Basically, 176 is not that crazy. The other one was -220. I did say if you don't want to pay the juice, then you get a -1 or a -1.5. But the reason I'm paying the juice was I didn't want to risk it because whenever I do 1.5s, I end up losing. So either way, I was willing to pay the juice, but it's all about the hit rate. It's not really how much you pay on the juice. If the hit rate is very high, you have to be hitting at a higher rate. I'm gonna get off of this topic, but basically, let me just use one more example. This guy here, Rafaela, you can see his odds were -260. So I made $20, right around $20 back for this $50. So basically, I would have to get 3 wins and zero losses. And as soon as I get 1 loss, then it breaks even. So I have to be hitting at around a 75% hit rate in order to cover these odds. So it's all about the hit rate and all about your bankroll management. It's not really trying to get +100 odds all the time. What's up, Julio? Thanks, man. And what's up? Good morning, Alkan. So I got right now. I'm gonna talk about. I do have 20-0 run the last 3 days, and I already showed you the receipts. 8-0 day, and I'm gonna talk. I also have 2 batter props. So the 2 I'm gonna show you guys actually three teams that I like. One of them is a little bit questionable. If you want to skip it, that's fine. But I'm gonna take it. It might break my winning streak. I don't know, but I really do like all these 3 teams. And like I said, one of them is a little bit questionable. So I'm going to talk about all 3 of those games. And then the 2 batter props, I actually have 11. Let me show you. I have, let me see. So I have right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 batter props that I already shared in the VIP this morning. So if you want to get all 9 of those, make sure you get on the either 1 week pass or 1 day pass. The link is in the description. I'm going to give 2 of these batter props inside the YouTube short, just like I've been doing. So if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe. Also click on where it says free picks. That way you can get alerted when we post the videos and all that stuff. So anyways, this was the last 2 videos that I did. It was a 7-0 sweep. And then yesterday was a 5-0 sweep. And then, I'm sorry, those were 2 days ago. And then 1 day ago. And then yesterday was a 8-0 sweep. So 3 days in a row when he sweep. All right. So again, 1 day pass, 1 week pass, 1 month pass. If you guys want to check out the rest of the batter props, otherwise I'm going to be putting 2 of those batter props inside the Discord. So how do we do this? How are we making this happen? And that's going to be this tool right here called the Sharp Edge. And I'm gonna walk you through the Sharp Edge, which is this here. All right. So this tool right here basically is just a huge breakdown of all the games that I'm looking at. And basically we sorted through, I think there's like 15 or 16 games today. And out of those 15 or 16 games, I get a bunch of data at night, and then I get it in the morning again, and then I compare the both. And once I compare all the information, then I start looking at which lines make sense and where the books have the money and all this stuff. And then once something matches where it's consistent, where it's matching consistent since the night before, then I from there, that's when I go much deeper research into those games only. Ever since I started doing that, I've been saving so much time, and it's been hitting a lot higher because I'm not looking at the entire slate. I'm only cleaning up. It's like a filter. So I look at everything, and then it goes down and less and less and less. And then when it gets down to that little gap, that's when I look heavily into these games. So I hope that makes sense. It's called the Sharp Edge. That's in the link in the description. So now let me get started real quick. All right. So here we go. Make sure you subscribe, guys, if you haven't done so. So right here, Toronto Blue Jays versus White Sox. So as I told you, the last 6 games that I've gone with the Blue Jays, they've won. So yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the comments. I did have a hater last night or yesterday, but it is what it is. He's telling me that there's no way I could be winning with this, or just hurry up and say what I got to say and not talk about other stuff. It's like, dude, I'm trying to explain to you why I'm skipping these games. And anyway, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is I'm not gonna listen to the hate. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm just gonna keep moving forward. All right. So Blue Jays versus White Sox. The last 6 games that I've gone with the Blue Jays, it's hit. Yesterday was one of those examples. The day before that was another example. What's up, Joe? So you can see right here what I don't like about the Blue Jays. This is the one I was saying is questionable. Is the only reason it's questionable is because of the strong pitcher for the White Sox, and because the line is moving for against the Blue Jays. So the line is going towards the White Sox. Okay, so that's a big shift. Actually, it's a 10-cent juice going towards the White Sox. So you got to always think about this. If 83% of the money is coming in on the Blue Jays, and 83% of the bets, 90% of the money is coming in on the Blue Jays, why is the line shifting towards the White Sox? That's one big factor you have to consider. So that's why I said the line is softening, is going towards the White Sox. There's heavy support on the Blue Jays, but the line is still going the other way. That might change by the time the game starts. I don't know. So let's keep looking at this. If you start looking deeper into this, the current record, overall, look at this. The last 10 times they've played, the Blue Jays have played the White Sox, they've beat them. So they're 10-0 in the last 10 games. Overall, these guys are struggling. The White Sox are struggling under 500 team. 25% in their last home games. Yeah, so they're 25% hit rate at home. So all this starts matching up towards the Blue Jays. Now, like I said, the biggest thing I noticed is the pitcher here, Hauser. Hauser has a 1.6 ERA. That's a great ERA, and he's going against Lauer. Lauer is a 2.65. So that is a big difference there. There's a contradiction here in the stats. This one says he has a 5-0 record, but over here it says a 4-1 record. Either way, this dude has been very good, and this guy's even better though, because especially being on the White Sox, and he has won 4 games while pitching. That's great because the White Sox suck. So you gotta take that into consideration. That's the reason the line, I believe, is shifting in the wrong direction. So, anyways, this guy is not a bum either. Look at this, Eric Lauer. So overall, now we start looking at the deeper metrics. So even though these dudes have a very strong pitcher, look at the Blue Jays graph. These dudes are ranked 4th. So ranked 4th for on-base percentage compared to the White Sox, which are ranked 21st. So think about this. Blue Jays are top 10 or top 5, and White Sox are bottom 10. on base percentage. Okay, so if you think that the Blue Jays are going to be stronger on batting with this average compared to the strong pitcher, that's where we're looking at. Now you look at Kirk and George Springer, which are right here. They're completely massive against this guy. 6.67 average and a 400 average. So what that means is that they're already super hot. They're already getting on base. Plus, they've already faced this pitcher, and they got great averages here. All right. Now the ninth inning batting, it's telling me that the White Sox will be forced to bat in the ninth. What that means is that they're going to be losing the game in the ninth inning. Now, overall over-unders on the hits, you can see the White Sox, they're heavily juiced to go over 7.5 hits. Now, these guys are favored to go on the under 9.5 hits, but that's still a big difference. So one of them says 7.5 on the over. That means that it's projected they're going to go over 8 hits, which is still low. And then you look at the Blue Jays, they're considered to go under 9.5 hits. So they're projected to get 10 hits compared to the White Sox to projected to get 8 hits. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, we start looking deeper into this. The line is projected is very, very light. It's a 4.9 versus a 4.2. You can see all this little green over here under the Blue Jays. That means they've covered the spread. Compared to the White Sox, they've only covered the spread 3 times in the last 5. And look at this graph right here. I'm not going to get into all these details, but just look at this big number here. Projected to win 62% compared to 37%. First half winning. Everything else over here is red and orange compared to green. So everything is matching towards the Blue Jays. But like I said, the only thing right here, the C pitcher, which is their ace, one of their ace pitchers. I don't know why this says C. It should say A, because here's one of their ace pitchers. Anyways, partly sunny, 10 miles an hour, winds. So there's no situational factor for the weather. Now you got the home struggles. Again, like I said, they've only won 25% of the White Sox have only won 25% of their games at home. There is some regression coming for sure, especially with the Blue Jays winning so many games. And obviously, like I said, the line is going the wrong way. They got great pitching. There's a chance the Blue Jays can lose this game, but I'm going to take the risk. Implied probability, 69% chance to win. So my first bet is the Blue Jays. So if you guys like that, make sure you subscribe, guys. I have 2 more that I'm going to show you. And then, like I said, I have 2 batter props that are going to be put into the YouTube short. All right, so make sure you check that out. Thanks, Philip. Appreciate it, man. Let's keep going. Let me see what else I had up here real quick before I continue. So this was the comment that I had. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it. So he goes, "You're not making any money betting on Toronto and the Red Sox on the money line unless you're putting up a 10 light." He even said light parlay instead of leg. I've already addressed this, but basically, if you think like this, then you should not be doing this, because if you think the only way to make money sports betting is to do 10 leg parlays, you're in the wrong boat, man. I'm sorry to tell you. And like I've already mentioned, the odds where you're getting the best odds, you for example, today there was odds for the Blue Jays, and I was able to get them at like a minus. Let me see. I don't want to bullshit you. Let me show you actually. So I was able to get the Blue Jays. Let's see. I was able to get the Blue Jays at a 148. Everybody else has them like a 160 or something like that. Anyways, like I said, the odds, if you're getting worse odds, then you have to hit at a higher rate. That's the only difference. But if you're hitting these higher rates, then it doesn't matter what the odds are. Yeah, ignore the ignorant. But I'm not ignoring them because I have to explain stuff too. Like I had to learn this the hard way. So the reason they're saying this is because they don't understand. So I have to give them the facts, and I have to explain why his mentality needs to change so that other people can understand what the hell's going on too. It's not really about trying to like defend myself or anything like that. I hope that makes sense. All right. FanDuel avoided my Toronto run line bet. Anyone else having this happen? 7th inning rain, shortened game, but it's complete game. they have their own rules. Everybody has their own rules. They can kind of cancel anything. If they were, I believe they were up by a lot. So you can reach out to customer support, but I don't think you're going to get anywhere because they have their own rules and they'll just send you like a fax or something. But anyway, here we go. Now the next one is the Tigers. Okay, the Tigers have not come up for me, to be honest, in a while, but they came up today. So I'm going to tell you why I believe they came up. You can see the line is shifting from a 142 to a 145. So it's a very, very slight line move. The Rays do have a 56% money coming in on their side. So there is heavy money coming in on the Rays. The bet units are 28%. So there's a differential here of 28%. What this means is that there's heavy money coming in on the Rays, 28% difference. But here's the big important thing. If this much money is coming in on the Rays compared to the Tigers, why is this line shifting towards the Tigers? Okay, so that's a big deal. So it's actually a good thing for the Tigers. So like I says here, the Rays price worsened by 5 cents. All right, here's 28 discrepancy, just like I said. And then here's some breakdowns of why the Rays are actually decent. Or I'm sorry, not decent, but they have a decent record, but they've lost 7 of the last 10 games. They're 5-5 in the last 10 they're 5-5, so they're break even against the Tigers. But in the last 10 games, they've only covered their spread twice. So they have a poor recent against the spread performance. Also, when they're on the road, this is dramatic. When they're on the road, they've only covered the spread 16% of the time. So I'm sorry, they've only won 16% of their games on the road in the last 5 games. So they're on the road today. All right. Over-unders, I don't really look at that right now. The Tigers, now let's flip to the Tigers. The Tigers have won 5 straight games. They've outscored their opponents 19-6 during this 5-game stretch. They do cover the spreads 6 out of the last 10. And then that's about it for that. But now look at this pitcher. So I would say they're pretty standard here. Littell does have more experience this season, but then you got Olsen over here, 2.89 compared to a 3.5. Littell is decent, but Olsen is actually better. The only thing is that this guy has played more games. So you got to look at the starting pitcher. They're somewhat similar. This guy does beat them by a little bit, which is the Tigers. But then you look at the bullpen, and they're actually pretty similar as well. So they got the starting pitcher is even, the bullpen is even, and then you actually look at the Tampa Bay Rays. Yandy Diaz, we've been hitting with, I showed you the receipt. We had Yandy Diaz yesterday, and this dude has been getting a lot of damn hits. But I looked at him today specifically because he came up again today. But it looks like he's not going to get a hit today compared to this pitcher or the pitchers today. So I actually stayed away from Yandy Diaz to get a hit, and he's actually one of their monsters. So even then, that's going to bring down their hits. Now you look over here, the Tigers are a little more sporadic. You can see they got Tokenson over here. I know it's hard to see that. Riley Green, Gleyber Torres, Colt Keith, Dingler. So all these guys right here are like kind of in the middle of the lineup compared to these guys, where the 2 guys are the ones that are decent in the beginning. But here's the thing with the Rays. They were very, very, very good. They were very hot for the last week and a half, and we were making money with them. But now they dropped off. They're actually on a slump. They're starting to go down. So this is a perfect example. They're ranked 26th in OPS, meaning on-base percentage, in the last 7 games compared to the Tigers, which are ranked first. That's a huge, huge 68-point OPS difference. So I know there's a shitload of numbers that I'm talking about, but basically what I'm trying to show you is that if the pitching is matching, the bullpen is matching, the batting is matching, but like the batters and stuff. But then you look at the OPS, the on-base percentages, that's when it starts making more sense. So the line is moving towards the Tigers, and this is the reason I believe they're ranked first in OPS compared to 26th OPS. Now, here's the breakdown for the batters, more specifically, like the guys that are doing very good. And then the 9th inning, this is one thing I didn't like, is that the Tigers says that they will be batting in the 9th, but it's such a low favorite that I don't think it's a big deal. So what I'm thinking out of all this information is that The Tigers should win, but it's going to be a very tight game. Overall, it does say that both of them are favored to go under 8.5 hits. And then you can see over here, the Tigers, it's all green compared to these guys, which is the great pitcher, like I just said. So these guys are on a slump. The Rays are on a slump while the Tigers are actually coming back up. And no weather impact. The Rays are struggling big time on the road. And then the Tigers are on a 5-game winning streak. So 65% chance for the Tigers to win. So my second bet for you guys is the Tigers. I hope you guys see why I would take them in this position. And it's not a big difference, but it's enough. All right, let's see. I'm not going to get into too much detail on this one, but it's pretty this one is pretty lopsided. We've gone with the Red Sox twice since they've been playing the Rockies, and we've won both times. So let me go right back and tell you, I'm taking the Tigers money line, and I'm taking the Blue Jays money line. Now for this one, I'm actually going to go a little bit different, and I'm actually going to risk it, but I'm going to tell you why. So here we go. The line was at 270. Now it's 290. So the line is dramatically moving towards the Red Sox. That's a 20-cent juice towards the Red Sox, which is huge, especially if this line, I've talked about this in the past, where the line is already super high at a 270 and it's still going up. What that means is that there's a lot of public money and sharp money. There's not enough money to contradict the line to be pushed the other way. So this is already heavily juiced, and it looks like it's continuing to get more heavily juiced. Overall, I'm not going to get into all these details, but this just tells you that the Rockies are garbage. Over here, they've won 4 straight games for the Red Sox. We've won 2 of them with them already in the last 3 games. So what's up? Good morning. New to the channel yesterday, and I had wins. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. Make sure you subscribe. All right. So again, I'm going to break down this final one. And like I said, if you want the 2 batter props, make sure you subscribe. And then the 2 batter props are going to be posted inside the YouTube short, which will be posted later today. All right. Head-to-head dominance, 6-4 for the Red Sox. They're controlling the series. Just like I said, we've already won twice with them. Now we'll look at deeper into the pitcher. This guy's just trash over here. Santanella or Sensatella is a 6.57 ERA compared to a 3.66. You can see he's got 5 wins, 1 loss. That's a massive mismatch, okay, already on the pitcher. Then you look over here. The Rockies are not doing anything. Red Sox are a little more sporadic. They're ranked, so it's not a big difference on the batting. Rockies are 21st, and Red Sox are 9th for on-base percentage. But you throw in the bad pitcher, and the 9th might become 5th or something like that. So let's see. Thank you for the 2 yesterday. I love your breakdown analysis. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. We're starting to get a lot more followers here on YouTube. We had a massive following on TikTok. It was about to hit 10,000 followers. And then I got banned. So now we're finally starting to blow up on YouTube. I appreciate it because of you guys that are commenting and liking and subscribing. So I appreciate that. All right. Key hitters for Boston is, I'm not going to get into all these details. I'm going to tell you, I did see Dean Rafaela to come up today, but I skipped. I believe I skipped on him. Let me see. If I didn't skip on him, I'll tell you I went with him. Let me see. Yeah, I went with him. So I had 2 batters in the Red Sox. One of them is Rafaela. So I did go for him to get 1 hit today. All right. Overall, like I said, 9th OPS compared to 21st? Yep, 9th compared to 21st OPS. And then this one is very strong as well. Red Sox to bat in the 9th, it says no. What that means is that the Red Sox are not going to be batting in the 9th according to the books. So what that's telling you is that the Red Sox will be winning the game before they hit the 9th inning. All right. Let's see what else. It does say here there's projected to win 5.9 compared to 4.3. There's a huge projected score over here, 6 compared to 3.5. Look at this, projected to win 80% hit rate compared to 20%. All this is green compared to all this red. What else? Weather, it says mostly cloudy, minimal weather impact. Red Sox are on a hot streak, 8-2, 78% chance to win. So the line is dramatically higher. And make sure you guys, if you haven't done so, go to the link in the description, click on free picks. Check us out for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. I have 9 batter props in there already. Also, we're making money inside the Discord, so check that out as well. What I'm going with for this Red Sox is I'm taking them at a -1.5. I didn't like the odds at a -1. They were still like even with a -1, it was very high. It was like a -210 from -1. So I'm taking the risk at a -1.5. Usually, I'm going to tell you straight up, usually when I go with the 1.5, I tend to lose. So be careful with that. But in this case, I showed you all the numbers. Everything makes sense that the Red Sox should whoop on the Rockies, especially with the weak pitching and the strong batting. So strong batting for Red Sox, weak pitching for Rockies. That and plus they've already beat them twice in the last 3 games or last 3 days. So this is the place. -1.5 for the Red Sox. What is the other one? Tigers money line. And then the Blue Jays money line. Out of all of these, the biggest risk, I believe, is the Blue Jays because the line is shifting in the wrong direction towards the White Sox. I still like them. And like I said, 2 batter props will be posted in the YouTube short. So I appreciate you guys, man. 20-0 run, which is amazing to even say. And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, man. Let's keep it going. Have a good day.